You don't have to stare at the camera. Chris, you can still talk during the intro. Chris. All right, well, welcome to the Chroncast.
Welcome back.
Today,
My name is Christopher. What's yours?
Oh, we're changing it up.
No, not very talkative today.
No.
Okay.
My name is John.
Hi, John.
Hence the name Chroncast. If we're gonna mention it again.
You have black stuff all over your neck.
Do I really? It's my
your
it's
headphones are deteriorating all
my-
over you.
it's deteriorating all over.
So what's up, guys? How's it going? How you feeling? You ready? You're driving and you're just sitting around doing something.
Yes.
And here we
Are you coming back from a game? Clemson game or
I heard there was a Clemson game recently that didn't go too well for the other team.
I didn't actually watch the game, so I don't know.
I didn't either. I just heard that.
What are we talking about today, Chris?
So today we're talking about conspiracy theories.
All right. Not necessarily just like, I guess
Not exclusively.
not
but,
exclusively to conspiracy, but we have different theories on different things as well.
Oh, you have theories? I have no theories.
Not my personal theories, but I have
Oh,
theories.
you've stolen other people's theories.
Other
I
people's theories.
understand.
Yes, we're just sharing them, and
I see how it
we'll
is.
talk about how that works.
All right. So what you got for me?
You want me to go first? All right.
All right.
All right. So let's pick a category. I'll have a number between 1, 2,
fruit.
3, and 4.
Do you have a category
and
about fruit
5.
for me?
No,
Fruit category?
No, 5. You
No.
hit options between 1 through 5.
1 through 5.
Yeah.
3.
3. All right.
3.
So we're gonna talk about some theories on Atlantis.
Atlantis.
Yes.
I don't believe it's true.
Okay. Well,
All right, moving on. Number 2 now, please.
No. Okay. So there's 6 theories on it, and I'm
Okay.
pulling this from the History channel, history.com.
So you know it's really true.
No, that's not the case.
So you know it's probably true.
No.
So you
let's
know
not,
it
let's,
might be possible.
let's not do
Wait,
that.
Is that better? Might be possible. Is that
Might
fine?
be possible,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Might be possible.
Atlantis was mid-Atlantic continent that suddenly sunk into the ocean.
Prove it.
The idea that Atlantis was actually a historical place and not just a legend invented by Plato didn't surface until the late 19th century. In his 1882 book, Atlantis, the Antediluvian World. Ooh, how do you pronounce that?
Which one?
That one.
I
I don't know.
would say exactly the way you said it.
Yeah. Basically argued the accomplishments of the ancient world, such as metallurgy, language, and architecture, must have been handled down by an earlier advanced civilization, as the ancients weren't sophisticated enough to develop these advances on their own. Assuming the Atlantic Ocean was only 100 feet deep, Donnelly described a continent flooded by shifting ocean waters that sank in the exact location Plato said it did, in the Atlantic Ocean just outside the Pillars of Hercules. The 2 rocks that mark the entrance of the Straits of Gibraltar? That just English is
Straits of Gibraltar.
Straits of Gibraltar. All right. Long after modern oceanography and a greater understanding of the plate tectonics poked holes in the shifting waters thesis, some continue to cling to Donnelly's theory, mostly due to adherence to Plato's placement of Atlantis in the mid-Atlantic. So that was more.
So basically, they're saying it was a thing, and then it just sank straight down.
So these are all based on it being a thing, but more of like where it ended up, I guess.
That would be the question: where it ended up.
Yeah. So
Where did it end up?
I don't know. The second. Well, we don't. I don't know if it's an actual place. I would like to believe it's an actual place,
Of course.
but there is no like physical evidence that it's been here in the Earth or
Yeah.
on Earth, I guess. But number 2, Atlantis was swallowed up by the Bermuda Triangle. What do you think about that?
Swallowed by the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes, and we also have theories on the Bermuda Triangle as well.
All right.
I think. I'm pretty sure. I did. Because once you start like looking into this stuff, you kind of expand and like.
Oh, because you can find theories on anything.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many. There's
yeah.
just theories on
Yeah.
anything if you want to find it.
If
you want to find it, it's there.
So in 1970s, Berlitz claimed Atlantis was a real continent located off the Bahamas, and that they had fallen victim to the notorious Bermuda Triangle, a region of the Atlantic where a number of ships had supposedly disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Supporter of this theory point to the discovery of what
Or like
looked
supposedly disappeared. I like that. Like, I mean, I think if they disappeared, you would.
Yeah,
probably
you
know.
would know, right?
Yeah.
Supporters of this theory point out to the discovery of what looked like man-made walls and streets found off the coast of Bimini.
Bimini.
Yeah. Although scientists have evaluated these structures and found them to be natural beach rock formations.
So they're wrong, basically.
There's another theory where Atlantis was Antarctica.
And they're saying it froze over, I guess.
Yeah, like you know how back then, when the continents,
The continents. Let's go with that.
The continents.
The continents.
Can you move your black thing? I just noticed it and it's annoying me. And I also should minimize this so then we don't.
For all you perfectionists.
Yeah, I guess I'm
like ya boy.
Yeah, boy. So this whole theory is based on the work of Charles Hapgood, 1958 book Earth Shifting Crust. So it's basically talking about how the continents shifted like a long time ago, and how Antarctica was really more towards the mid-Atlantic, and how they're all it was basically Pangea.
So it moved and then froze.
It was there. It moved and froze. Which I mean, I would assume we would find things
it's the kind of thing like it's just there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like there's just nothing.
Yeah. Well, but then how do you think the story of Atlantis became?
It's because somebody was like, "There's two guys on a ship. Here's how it happened. I'm gonna let you know."
Actually,
there's two guys on a ship, right? Okay. And one of the guy goes, "Hey, I'm tired of being on a ship."
Yeah.
And the other one was like, "Hey, what if there was just a city here?" And they would be like, "Hey, that'd be cool."
Yeah.
And then he wrote about it.
Yeah.
And then he got famous. And everyone's like, there was probably something right where he was talking about. No.
Well, this theory says the story of Atlantis was a mythical retelling of the Black Sea flood.
Tell me more about the Black Sea flood.
This theory presumes Atlantis itself was fictional, but the story of its demise was inspired by an actual historical event. The breaching of Bosporus by the Mediterranean Sea and subsequent flooding of the Black Sea around 5600 BC. At the time, the Black Sea was a freshwater lake, half its current size. The flooding inundated civilizations known to flourish along its shore with hundreds of feet of seawater in a short period of time. Perhaps less than a year. As the inhabitants of the region scattered, they spread tales of the deluge, and may have led thousands of years later to Plato's account of Atlantis.
That makes sense. I think that's probably...
That's more... Yeah, that seems more plausible.
Yeah. Yeah, because, that sort of thing doesn't just, come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Atlantis is a story of the Minoan civilization, which flourished in Greek islands circa 2,500 to 1,600 BC.
Now, what do you think about the Stargate series about the lost city of Atlantis?
Stargate series? What series are you talking about?
It's a Stargate. No, it's just a Stargate, and it was in the lost city of Atlantis, but it was unlost at that point.
Wait, a Stargate?
Yeah.
I think, now, this is a very long time ago. I remember watching a Bionicle video.
Dude, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about,
yeah.
Right? Who else knows? Because that's like a...
Bionicle throwback, dude. I love Bionicles.
Yeah, that was... I remember seeing it, and, there was an online game that I used to play that, was all about this, and it gave you, movie scenes every time you played it.
Yeah.
But it was there was the shark people, the squids, and they had to gather all the gems to activate the Stargate, I guess is what it's called.
But it wasn't a Stargate because that's copyright. You can't just take
but
that.
Elaborate, what is it? What is this Stargate are you talking about?
Do you know about Stargate, SG-1 and Stargate, the TV series and the movies?
I do not know that.
Basically, it's just a Stargate is just a circular thing that's basically a portal. Yeah, you can
it's just a
go,
portal, right?
And there's Stargates everywhere, and you can just jump around. It's just basically I don't think it's a dimension thing. I think it's just jumping in space. You can
space-time?
It's just not space time, just space.
Just space.
You can just move around.
Mm-hmm.
But and I didn't really watch very much of it, just a little bit when I was a kid. But that's just on topic.
I'm just glad you knew about the Bionicle thing, honestly.
So what else you got for me? What about topic number?
So number
Do you
6.
have more in this?
Number 6, yeah.
Okay.
So this is the last one on this one.
Okay.
Atlantis didn't exist at all. Plato invented it.
Yeah.
That's more.
Yeah, that's not a conspiracy theory.
I mean,
That's
but-
just the truth.
I mean, but to really think about it, like if it were possible though, like
Oh, I'm sure technically it's possible.
to have a lost civilization that far along and more advanced than we are,
I mean, technically, yeah, I guess
Mhm.
it's possible, but
it's possible. But is it plausible?
it's not plausible. And if it did happen, they would have had some meaningful impact on the world around us that would be able to see and feel and touch. Like they would have left some sort of evidence.
But it's lost. So how would we know?
Yeah, I mean, it's lost. That's the name of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Lost City of Atlantis. But a civilization of that magnitude doesn't just disappear.
You can't say that.
Historically, it just doesn't happen.
You can't say
What
that.
do you mean I can't say that?
Like you just
So,
can't.
okay, so
Historically,
here's-
we don't know. Like you
here-
can't. Yeah.
Here's the example, though. Like, if America just sank and was gone,
Yeah.
right? There would be evidence of that.
But this we're talking about like a different time shift though. Back then there was no way to keep evidence, especially if it was an island. You know what I'm
What do you
saying?
mean, no way to keep that? Like, we.
Like you would have no evidence on how that it was there because
No, I
back
mean,
then
it would have an effect on the world around it.
how
So, like, not as in just like the spot, because a civilization of that sort of capacity doesn't like just stick to one little spot on the map,
Mhm.
right? They expand. Expansion is part of growth of a culture, and so they would have expanded and had some impact on the earth, whether it is like gathering different
but
resources.
that's
or,
why the theory of Atlantis is there, don't you think?
What do you
Unless
mean?
because yet people still talked about it. People knew it was a thing. People. I'm not saying that like
Yeah.
like the knowledge of it was spread across.
Well, it's knowledge of myths are everywhere. That's
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
that was the culture.
Yeah.
So like.
But just to insert is
Yeah.
people have now found it not Atlantis, but people say it's Atlantis. But people have found like in the water, like scuba
Yeah.
diving stuff, like
No.
entire like not
Yeah,
civilization, but like
sunken cities are a thing.
Yeah.
Like they exist, but
Yeah.
I think a civilization of that magnitude,
mass.
like
yeah,
it wouldn't. You can't have that sort of concentrated one spot on the map sort of idea, and then have it actually like if it
because
were
it's
as more advanced than us.
yeah,
They would have expanded in some respect, whether
Mhm.
it be settling or like talking to the people around them, if not just for resources.
So I guess the next thing I can get into this since we're talking about like civilizations and stuff, but the hollow Earth theory.
Okay, is this like Journey to the Bottom, or what is that
Center
movie?
to the Earth.
Center to the Earth.
No,
yeah.
but this is this is basically saying that the Earth is hollow.
Yeah. Okay.
I
I saw a very old cartoon about that where there was like
Yeah.
spiders and stuff in there, and it was very. If you know what I'm talking, I don't remember what it was called, but they were
Yeah.
like giant spiders, and they were riding them. And
Yeah.
it was in the center of the Earth. If you know that, congratulations, you earn
the Chris,
my respect.
Chris trophy.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's the subterranean civilizations of Agartha.
Are those like the lizard people that are controlling our minds?
No, I know what you're talking about, and we'll get into that because I think that's one of those theories that we were going to
Okay,
talk about.
Okay.
So until the modern era, many were convinced of the Earth as a hollow shell, and with a civilization of earthly ancients residing below the surface. The French novelist Jules Verne, famous for his series of the realistic adventure novels The Voyages Extraordinaires, wrote Journey to the Center of the Earth right around the time belief in the subterranean society peaked. To just like summarize it, it's basically there's a civilization within the Earth right now of not extraterrestrials, but basically higher beings, alphas of like human beings. Like they're taller, they're stronger, they're smarter. They're alphas basically.
Okay.
But that there's only like I think there's one entrance that has been somewhat affected by it or have entered into this thing, and there's a story behind it. But basically they're just higher beings.
You're shaking the whole table.
I'm sorry.
It's
But
okay.
they're higher beings
Uh-huh.
basically. So a person named Admiral Byrd, I'm pretty sure that's Bird, right? With a Y.
I can't say that part. We'll go with
BYRD.
Yeah,
It's
a
bird,
bird.
right?
Yeah.
This is a person who has interacted has I don't know if this is him just being crazy, but he has basically he claims to
He's
have
interacted with this.
he's interacted with these
Okay.
people, and he's been to the entrance. They've taken him in at one point to like talk to him or whatever. But basically after another century from the story being written, I hit that table. Between the time of the Great Depression and World War II, Admiral Richard E. Byrd of the U.S. Navy pioneered further explorations of the poles. Out of his many trips to the Arctic territories, one Byrd narrative sticks out more than the rest: his recording-setting flight over the North Pole. According to the alleged diary written by Byrd, during his polar flight, he came across a warm, lush climate with mammoth-like creatures and an ancient human race that had been residing within the earth. His plane was commanded midair and landed for him by these inner earth denizens, I guess is denizens,
Yeah.
who intercepted him with a saucer-shaped aircraft. Upon landing, he was met by emissaries.
Missionaries?
No, it's not missionaries. It's emissary. I can't. My English, man, just cannot. Where? It says right there, emissaries. Did I see it?
Emissaries.
Emissaries. I'm sorry. My English is
It's okay.
not that great.
It's okay.
I mean, it's good.
That's never. No one ever uses that word anymore.
Emissaries of a civilization that many assume to be the mythical Agartha. The people of Agartha expressed their concern about humanity's use of the atomic bombs during World War II and employed Byrd as an ambassador to return to the U.S. government to relay their sentiment. And there's a picture of him if you just were curious.
Yeah.
I'm not going to show you guys because you just look it up.
Just flash it. Just flash. Like, here it is. You're welcome.
There you go.
Right there it is.
I don't know if that. Yeah. I don't know if we're staying in focus because we have our monitor
Why don't
down.
you just bring it up.
Huh?
Just bring it up. It's cool.
You good?
So yeah. Do you? What do you think about that?
Well, there's more to it. Hold on.
Oh, there's more to it. Okay.
Yeah. The striking issue regarding the validity of this diary entry is that it's dated February of 1947. If it is to believe this story covers Byrd's inaugural flight over the North Pole, the one need only look at the actual date when he achieved this feat more than 20 years earlier on May 9th, 1926. In fact, upon further inspection, it appears Byrd probably didn't quite reach the North Pole and instead fabricated his navigation records, poaching credit from another team that actually set the record a few days later. What makes this entry so intriguing is that if it's real, could it have potentially been misconstructed from a later mission in Antarctica called Operation High Jump? This particular mission fueled conspiracies regarding government operations in the Arctic and the nature of their goals. High Jump was one of the largest operations ever conducted in Antarctica, with over 4,000 men sent to study, map, and reside on the continent for up to 8 months. The expedition included 13 Navy support ships, including an aircraft carrier, helicopters, flying boats, and an array of more traditional aircraft.
So, what do you think that's right? You think that? I think
I don't know. Like
I don't
that's
think so.
I would like to say that I'm open to the idea,
I'm not.
but why do you say that?
Well, because for what we say is reality, right?
Mhm.
There are like records, like proper records, multiple records. It's the scientific method, basically, of discovering yes, this is a real thing, and it
You look
exists.
so like this is fake.
Well,
fake news.
it is
But why would
I
here's
would
the
like to
thing.
hear the people who are on the plane also, what they have to say about this.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe there's audio recording of what they saw, but then there's also it's just this is just one man. It's not like multiple people. But why would they send that many? I guess artillery. It's not even artillery, but that many things to the North Pole just for a study. You know what I'm saying? That is still weird in itself.
No, I agree,
And the
but
government
it's-
already does shady stuff all the time, and we will discuss that.
And
earlier.
that's
Yeah.
exactly why I think it's fake, because they do shady stuff all the time. They
Mhm.
do stuff that they
Mhm.
don't tell us about all the time. So
Yeah.
that's such a crazy jump to go
Yeah.
like, oh, this one guy said there was a lot of big people up there,
Yeah.
and then they sent a lot of army things there, and
like
so
aircraft carriers and stuff.
like those are probably connected. There's probably
Yeah. Yeah.
there's probably ground people,
yeah.
and if
Ground
they are
people.
ground people, what are they doing in Antarctica? Huh?
Oh, I was
What are
just
they
making
doing
sure
at the
we
North
were
Pole? I mean?
recording because it didn't look like we were recording, but it is. I was okay. So, Nazis' knowledge of Agartha. So, have you heard of Agartha?
I've never.
I've heard people talk about this place in books and stuff, but I've never actually like went out and like looked it up or what it was. Because like Atlantis was something like, oh, everyone kind of like, I didn't even look stuff about Atlantis until like literally, like yesterday, because I was like,
It's just that something people know.
it's just people know. And
Well, also there's that movie,
what movie?
The Lost City of Atlantis,
Well, that but that's a bigger
with
one.
Milo
But
Thatch.
but I literally
Yeah.
remember people talking about Agartha. You know,
I don't think I've ever heard of that. That's really interesting.
yeah. Other speculations regarding birds' supposed search for Agartha notes a Nazi presence in the Arctic territory.
Of course it does.
Both.
Of course it does.
Hey, take this with a grain of salt, okay? I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
reading it. Both north and south, it is well documented that the Nazis explored the Arctic regions to set up bases to test novel weaponry. But it is also well documented that Hitler and the Nazis were obsessed with esotericism and the occult. The rabbit hole goes deep here, with some going so far as to post that Hitler could have escaped to the underground world.
Pose?
No, it's POSIT. Poist? POS.
Posit?
Posit?
It's posit.
Posit. Okay. That might have been counterintuitive if an ancient enlightened society resided down there. Yeah, this is basically
It's
but
always the
there's-
Nazis, isn't it? Like, it's always the Nazis.
it's always the Nazis. There's also
Where are those Nazis at? I know. I think this is where it all comes from. Like,
yeah.
we didn't know what they were doing, and they were
Yeah.
doing so many secret things. They're like,
Yeah.
"Hey guys, what do you think those Nazis are up to?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you think they're digging underground and
Yeah.
looking for this?
Yeah.
this?" And their whole thing is like they're.
But
they're
again,
like
they also
Aryan
didn't they
race.
have like bases in like mountains and stuff?
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah,
But
okay.
that's the thing. They were doing weird stuff.
They were just
But
just crazy people.
Like people in America were like.
Yeah.
Imagination's going wild. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are these Nazis doing? What are
Yeah.
they doing in these mountains? They're
Yeah.
probably people down there.
People
They're
down
talking
there,
to.
yeah. So there's Agartha proof in ancient cultures. That's also something.
Of course there is.
Almost every ancient culture has a story of allusion to the inner realms of Earth, as well as civilizations of people who resided there. Many of these are places of purgatory where dead spirits reside. Rather than a society that currently flourishes, the Greeks spoke of Hades, the Christians
Yeah,
referred
I've seen
to as
Hercules.
hell, and in Judaism, it is referred as the Sheol. Judaism, it is referred to as Sheol. Sheol? I guess so.
I don't know.
Most of these underground domains were more allegorical and religious tools used to
Yeah.
deter people from sinning rather than the realms actively being sought out.
Yeah.
There are, however, closer depictions of Agartha described by some cultures with related cities and passageways to get there. In Tibetan Buddhism, there is the secret. I didn't know this, and I used to be Buddhist. Mystical cities of Shambhala, located somewhere deep in the Himalayas. Oh my God.
Yeah, Himalayas.
Yeah.
You got it.
That has been searched for by many, including Russian mystic Nicholas Roerich. Though no one is known to have found it, some believe Shambhala could potentially been connected to the capital of Agartha. And there's a little picture actually of Agartha, which I don't understand because it looks like there's like.
You should just put it up on the screen, or like, I mean, they can't. No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
Just edit it. Just edit it to like here.
yeah.
Oh.
But that doesn't make. I'm like, is that floating? That like it looked like it would be like.
No, I think it's like an Inside Out world. I think it's like Inside Out. Yeah.
Okay. Inside Out. That was a great movie.
It's a good movie, yeah.
There's a lot more about it, but what do you think overall? Like, what is?
I don't know. I think, well, I mean, everything we have is very anecdotal and like either crazy person or like, whoa, what are Nazis doing?
Yeah.
Or like, what the ancients thought, which.
I thought you were about to say Asians. It's like.
Well, and the Asians and the non-Asians,
Yeah.
the whole world. Yeah. So like, but, you know, they thought all types of things, you know? Like, I think it's interesting to speculate about, but I don't think that's a solid point. For Agartha.
Yeah.
That like, oh, like these people who.
But you totally discredit it. Like you don't think it's ever possible.
No, I don't. No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, and maybe it's just because I'm blind. Maybe I'm not woke enough. I don't think I'm woke enough.
You're not woke enough. Ooh.
I'm just not woke enough. But yeah, I don't think. I think.
So there's also people who have talked about how like it's aliens that reside, not even like humans.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, and so next.
And that's the lizard people that were here before us.
Yes.
Yeah, we chased them away.
Yeah.
And then they had to go underground.
So the other thing is Egypt. There's a lot of.
Oh yeah, I don't believe in Egypt.
Egyptian.
It's fake.
We're here to talk, all right.
Conspiracy
theories are all fake. They're all
Egypt
fake, guys.
Isn't real.
Yeah.
The pyramids are just aliens. They're not actually Egyptians.
So this is time travel, and this is actually backed by the late Stephen Hawking, which this website is not the best website, I would say, that I pulled this from. So take it with a grain of salt. So it's basically this conspiracy theory is backed by Stephen Hawking, is what they quoted.
It's backed by Stephen Hawking.
On famous British reality TV show I'm a Celebrity.
That's not even a real show.
But Scarlett Moffat claimed that the pyramids were built by someone from the future, which is completely ridiculed by her peers, who must have thought she was been puffing on a Chibo or something.
Oh my god!
But not
this
everyone.
Is quite the solid source we got here.
But not everyone was laughing. Legendary physicist Stephen Hawking was so impressed that he contacted her by email, telling her that she might be right. I don't know if this.
That sounds fake.
It does sound really fake.
So fake to me. He didn't use.
But if all the curious minds out there, you want to fact check us and let us know, please do.
I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, again, this is we're talking about conspiracy theories, so not all these are gonna be like.
I don't expect any of these to be real.
Oh no, yeah, but
that's the fun of it. If they're real, then it's boring and scary.
They're scary.
Look, okay. If there were giant people living underground, that's terrifying. If the aliens made the pyramids, that's terrifying.
Well, why would you be terrified?
Because it's spooky. It's unknown. It's like a freaking underground world. It's like an inside-out world.
I mean, but then the thoughts of like spirits and stuff. That you don't think. Oh wait, we had this conversation. So, what are your thoughts on like ghosts? I guess.
Oh, we're going ghosts.
I'm okay with that.
So we're jumping around. So. I think ghosts are possible.
Okay. I'm also at that. I've had so many people tell me ghost stories, and you know.
I think 99.9% of all ghost stories you'll hear are wrong and fake and lame and boring. Yeah. Like and
I don't know. I mean, there's a story. There's some stories I can share, but
I know. But our minds are so powerful, and it's so easy to fabricate things in your mind without even knowing that you're doing it. That you can be so certain of something.
We also came to the conclusion that your mind is that powerful, and people don't realize.
Oh yeah,
the mind has lots of power.
You think you have control of your mind? You really don't. No, like you really have no idea what.
Well, that's why people have like their like things that like thoughts that they don't think that they should have, but yet they still have them. Like your mind just. Is your subconscious too is something is unknown.
Yeah, and that's the nature of subconscious is very interesting because it's so powerful and yet so unknown, and you can't control it or see it. And so, the fact that there are all these ghost stories that I believe are fabricated, for the most part, isn't surprising at all. It's totally like plausible and way more possible than they're actually being. These all being true.
So like,
but I don't rule out the possibility of it existing just because there are so many of them. But I think it's sort of like it's a fun idea.
Mhm.
Like, it's fun.
Well,
like,
I mean, it's so there's a
spooky
person.
stories are fun.
They're fun. No, they're not fun. Okay, let me just say that. But there's this. We'll have another podcast where we talk about like personal stories or whatever. But I mean, there's a person that I trust very well, and he has his own ghost story, and
Yeah.
like,
Fake.
I wouldn't
No,
say
I'm
it's.
just saying,
I wouldn't say it's fake because I don't. It's hard because like again, your mind is so powerful, so I
Yeah.
don't know if
So you can think but you don't.
yeah, but like because like the so Pease is going down, right? Pease is a theater that I work at personally. Not like I work there, but like I've
Well,
worked
do you want
in-
to save this story? Let's say.
You want to say
I
the
think
story?
we should save the story.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I'm gonna jump into some. So these are
Oh,
some.
do you want me to finish the
Oh, are we
Egyptian
done
one?
with the?
No, I didn't.
okay.
I didn't even get to
I
explain the.
feel like they're aliens.
No. There's of course there's the alien things,
Okay.
but
Okay. Go ahead.
but basically he contacted her by email, telling her that she must be right, and
She must be right.
yeah,
That sounds right.
She
yeah.
might. Sorry, rephrase. Might. I said must,
That
but
sounds like
it says
Stephen
might.
Hawking. Yeah, he says that kind of thing all the time.
Scarlett exactly explains the words were in order to travel back in time, we have to go faster than light. The speed of light is the same latitude point as the tip of the Great Pyramid of Cheops. I don't know. The speed of light is like 319. What? Hold on. Okay, this might be fake. I don't know. The speed of light.
It's definitely fake.
The speed of light is like 319, and then loads of number. And it's exactly the same.
They wrote that weird. They're like 319 and then like lots of zeros.
Yeah,
what they
and
say.
it's exactly the same latitude point as the tip of the Great Pyramid. So I think someone from the future realized we need the pyramids and went back in time and built them. She was so serious about this, she actually contacted Hawking before going to the reality TV show, who initially failed to reply, but finally got in touch and admitted that this woman wasn't absolutely nuts, and that her theory could very well might be right. Make that of what you will is what it's written.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and disprove that right now.
Okay. But you have to admit that the alignment
No.
of the pyramids
If
is
that's
unique.
true, that's unique. Yeah, if it's true, it's unique.
I just
And
know
I'm sure
that
there's a reason
the
for that.
alignment of the pyramids itself is unique. I know that.
But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you are, say, for instance, if time travel was possible now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was like, oh, we need the pyramids in order
Mhm.
for time travel to be possible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the pyramids aren't there now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, no problem. I'll just jump back to the past
Mhm.
and build us some pyramids,
Mhm.
right? How would I do that
Mm-hmm.
if the pyramids didn't already exist?
What are you talking about?
How would I travel back in time if the pyramids didn't already exist in order for me to travel back in time?
No, so it would be because because they aren't there in the beginning. For whatever reason why you need to build the pyramids, you would go back in time and build the pyramids.
But if I needed but if I needed the pyramids to travel back in time,
No. It's not that you need the pyramids to travel back in time.
so
This
what do
is-
we need the pyramids for?
This is saying that there's some reason why the pyramids were needed there. The person who came back in time built the pyramids and then went back to the future for some reason.
And then put dead Egyptians inside them.
That was okay. So that's the other thing is that there's arguments of how people built the pyramids in general.
Right.
It's like literally impossible for man until there was
Literally impossible.
no until this man who actually like one man just and he's like old, he's like 50 something. Can move
he's old.
He can move boulders and stuff like 4 ton, 5 ton, 6,
Yeah.
10 tons like buildings with there's a secret technique to it. Like a technique to
Right.
moving it. There's a whole
Right.
video about it. Just look it up.
Right.
One man moving
Well,
giant stones
I think we discredit older cultures for the intelligence that they have
because
like,
of how our culture is.
because of the way it works now. Like we have to use cranes and stuff to do that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But because they didn't have cranes,
They had to be different.
They
unique, yeah.
figured it out.
Yeah.
And they had lots of time to figure it out.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
So I think
So what do you think about the whole? This is not because I pulled this off, but the theory of the pyramids being built by aliens. What are your thoughts on aliens? How about that?
Why?
We'll talk about that.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Aliens can build whatever they want. assuming.
They just we're second class citizens to them, aren't we? So they were just like
pyramids, and then we're gonna put some dead Egyptians in it. Like that's
that's the Egyptians. That's their religion, obviously.
Right. So, but why would an alien build a pyramid and then put like?
It's not the aliens putting it in. It's the people.
But how? But if it wasn't built for that, how are you gonna do that?
But remember, there's a possibility that the pyramids weren't built for that purpose. The Egyptians just used it as that purpose.
Right. So how would they use it as that purpose if it wasn't built for that?
I just think that
that's not.
Yeah.
It's not. No, I don't get it.
I just think. What? No, go ahead.
No, it doesn't
make sense to you.
Make sense.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could see why it doesn't make sense, but I'm more of like the fact that the positioning of the pyramids. I don't know the facts personally.
That's interesting.
But there are.
I agree.
The positioning is way too unique, and if you line them up, like there's purpose alignment to them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been they've found pyramids like. This is not like this is me watching a video, not actually like doing research. So take it with a grain of salt.
Experts on
anything. This is just all opinionated, and we're just talking for fun. So basically, they found pyramids in Antarctica, similar to like the positioning of the pyramids in Egypt, and then they found pyramids underwater, similar to the positioning, similar but not exact.
Right.
But like just under a pyramid underwater.
Right.
Which that's why I was like, I mean, that's cool. Like maybe there was a civilization before Egyptians. Like I don't know. Like you don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Like you just the possibility is endless.
Yeah, I mean,
to have theories and
one of the simplest shapes. So, well, I guess it's not. I would say a triangle, but maybe not, or whatever it is called when it's like
a pyramid.
Is it called?
It's called a pyramid.
Wow, that's super original. They're just like, I wonder what to call this shape. Well, it kind of looks like a pyramid.
It's a pyramid.
You're like, wow, okay, it's a pyramid.
So I'm gonna just skim through the next few, and we'll just talk about like the title, I guess. But supersonic levitation was used to build the pyramids.
Here's the thing that is so outlandish to me.
Yeah.
Like, instead of like taking lots of facts.
Yeah.
And they like put them all together, and then they look at the facts and they go,
yeah,
it kind of looks like this might be a thing.
Yeah.
They like take one thing and they're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. This must have a totally outlandish explanation.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, I didn't know the fact that we couldn't figure out how to build pyramids made it so aliens built them.
Well, here's the thing. People, just human beings in general. Human beings in general, like, the thought of not knowing scares them.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm okay with not knowing something because I'm a human being. Like
you can't know everything.
You can't know everything. But like when people certain people think they're in control of their lives all the time. And for those type of people, when they don't know something, they either have to make an excuse for it.
Yeah.
They have to either not say it's not real, or they just have theories. And that's how theories are created, because every human being is like, I don't know how this is happening, but
maybe it's a giant lizard
but
in the sky.
But if I don't know, I need to like come up with something. That's why it's that's science. Like it's just the thought of not knowing, like scares you, but it's powerful.
It's also just being contrary. Like, well, it's like, well, most people would just say that they stacked some rocks on top of each other and made a pyramid shape. But I know better. Well, I know the truth.
Yeah.
It was aliens.
Well, here's another one. Ancient Egyptians had supernatural abilities like telepathy and telekinesis.
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, wait. There's one called the Cocaine Mummy. Proof that ancient Egyptians traveled to the Americas.
Wow, okay.
I don't know if you want to get into that one, but
that's a lot to unpack there.
So I have theories on. Hold on, let's not talk about that one.
I mean, let's transition. I have some interesting things that I've discovered online, which you too can discover online if you do one Google search.
Yes, literally.
But it's conspiracy theories that actually ended up being
true,
right, which is, I think, way more interesting, because then they were like, "There's something fishy going on there," and then they actually figured it out.
So. Yeah, let's go ahead and I'll comment on
this first one, and most of them have to do with the government, American government.
Of course, United States.
Because American government.
They're going to be watching us now.
So this is from Reader's Digest. They're always watching. It doesn't matter. This is from Reader's Digest. So some of these, I think I would say, it's still take it with a grain of salt. It's still the internet.
Oh yeah,
but
of course.
it might be true. It might be fun.
This is also an article that I had.
Yeah. So
pulled
the
up,
first
yeah.
one is called Bad Booze, and
Yeah.
this. So basically, what it says is during the
Prohibition.
the
Jeez.
government would poison
Mhm.
alcohol
Mhm.
in order to like prevent people from
Drinking it.
turning it into moonshine,
Yeah.
and selling it and drinking it.
Mhm. Well,
And
the
they
video
did do
just-
that,
Yeah.
and people didn't stop drinking. Surprise, surprise, because people like alcohol.
Oh, people
and it
love
actually
alcohol.
ended up killing
Yeah.
more
A
than
lot of people.
10,000 Americans.
Holy cow. That's a lot though for back then.
That's a lot for any time. Like,
Well, I mean, if you
can't
think
that-
about
the government. Okay, it's a lot for the government to
Yeah.
kill to
Yeah.
keep from drinking
Yeah.
alcohol. Like,
well, there's also. Did you know there's a theory that the government creates like, viruses and like actual like things to like kill people off with, like leave, like it's like the natural selection thing. Like if you can't survive from it, you
no,
die.
I didn't know about that, but
Yeah, apparently that's also a theory.
I don't think that's true, but it is possible.
It is
So
possible,
I
yeah.
I would grant that is possible.
But if it was, that means we have outlived a lot of people.
So we win. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those who are watching, you also outlived them. So you
Congratulations.
Congrats.
You win being alive.
Yes.
It kind of sucks. But it's pretty good sometimes.
Yeah.
So the first lady who ran the country, and this
is
one,
with
and this is
Woodrow
honestly
Wilson,
not
right?
really a conspiracy.
This is
theory.
actually real.
It's just kind of cool.
Yeah, people are no, it's
Um,
actually true though because
No, yeah.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
not really. It's just more like a history fact than
Yeah,
a
yeah.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So stroke rendered President Woodrow Wilson was incapable of governing, and his
Mhm.
wife sort of stepped in
Mhm.
and was president, basically.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that happened.
That actually happened.
Yeah. So I think it's an interesting, like, what a powerful woman. Like,
Mhm.
that's the first woman president, kind of.
Kind of. Not by like
Not really,
but yeah.
but indirectly. She
Indirectly,
was kind of
yeah.
the first woman president.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's exactly how I would want my first woman president to come around. Like,
Honestly.
like basically, like, you're kind of like disabled and dumb now
Yeah.
because you're like totally incapable of governing this country.
Yeah,
So now,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm just gonna do it. You know,
I'm just gonna do it.
just Wilson, take a seat, Wilson.
Thank you.
Take a
Chris.
seat. And
I'll
I'm
let
just
me take my seat.
I got this. No problem. So here's a government mind control one.
MK Ultra. Is that what it is? Yeah, MK Ultra, right?
Yeah, so the CIA was testing LSD and
Mhm.
other hallucinogenic drugs
Mhm.
on Americans on a top secret experiment on behavior modification. Now,
This-
it's kind of misleading.
How about this? This was actually recently, like the
Yeah.
files released, like not even like the past 3 years, was it? Isn't it?
So it's kind of misleading.
Yeah.
And actually, I believe it sort of is referenced in Stranger Things.
I haven't seen it.
Season two.
I haven't.
So if you,
s-
so
no, no, no,
Stranger
no, no.
Things, I'm not gonna spoil it.
Okay.
I'm just
I
gonna.
was about to take my headphones
gonna
off, but I
vaguely
realized I
talk
can still
about
hear
it.
you.
Yeah. I'm right here. So
Oh, I could also do. Actually, no, that would mute. Actually, let's not do that.
let's not do that. They vaguely, or not they vaguely reference it, but
Yeah.
it is referenced by it's
In-
Eleven's mother. If you don't know what I'm talking about, so it doesn't matter.
Mm.
But and this title is a little misleading because they didn't really succeed
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't actually mind control anybody. They just sort of made a lot of people crazy and addicted to drugs.
But their objective.
But that was their
Their
that was their
objective.
goal. So but when
they
you say
failed.
like it's like the mind control
But again,
experiment.
like even like the mind is powerful, but like even in hypnosis, like if they try to convince you to do something you don't want to, the hypnosis doesn't work. That's why
Yeah,
it's typically
yeah.
stuff like that you would want to do. Like
And that's the same as like Ouija boards. So like the
Mhm.
way I don't know if you know this is a fun little fact.
Mhm.
Ouija boards work by like when you're touching something and your
Mhm.
mind thinks it should move, you start moving it, not consciously, but
Yeah.
it just starts moving.
yeah,
And so
which I didn't know that.
and it
yeah.
only works when there's
everyone
well,
believes it.
no, only one person has to think it's possible.
So but what do you explain? How do you explain like when you actually start spelling stuff and like doing?
It's all in
It's
your
all your
mind. Yeah,
mind?
your
Oh,
mind. Yeah, you are
shit.
subconsciously talking to yourself
Yeah.
through the Ouija board. It's
Yeah,
really
wow.
cool.
Wow, I didn't know
It's
that.
really
I
cool.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's not like your
Yeah.
cousin's dog's ghost. It's like that's just your
That's
mind
just your
messing with you.
mind. Yeah.
And so this one is the Dalai Lama's impressive salary.
Mm.
Oh wow.
What is this about?
So,
Oh.
the Dalai Lama is a CIA agent.
Okay. So story.
Okay.
This has not been proven. Like with any substantial evidence, I would say.
But it's true.
No, this is a story
That's
through
what it's
my. This is my family's
Oh,
story.
okay. I thought you were talking about
Yeah.
what I was the
So,
Dalai Lama being an agent.
The whole topic is basically my grandfather possibly working for the CIA.
Ooh.
Because my
We have a personal conspiracy.
yes,
theory.
this is a personal. I don't know if this is true, but
That's what a conspiracy theory
yeah,
is.
yeah. So yeah. But it basically leads to it. I guess is so the evidence is basically his job was to he was in the military, but his
Yeah.
job was to mark off territories for mosquitoes. Is what they told my dad. Like that's what my dad knew was he was just out there spraying mosquitoes. But he had to mark off on trees which places they've been and which places they haven't been. So they would mark an X if they've already been there, or like a circle if this place is infested or something like that. But basically, my grandfather also was the first. Fun fact: he was the first person in Vietnam to own a Harley Davidson.
Wow.
Yeah, that is
That's
also
cool.
yeah.
The coolest person in Vietnam,
Yeah.
basically, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah, but basically he had to sell everything to get it.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Where the
But
shipping
I also
costs, I'm
don't
sure,
know.
is-
This is also the other thing is that
that might be wrong.
if he was no.
No?
I know that's true. My dad knows that's true because everyone knew him because he was a cop. Like everyone like he's
All right. I'll buy
Yeah,
it. I mean,
yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
You know more than me on the
yeah.
subject, so. But it is technically possible that it's
It is
incorrect.
possible, but
Not likely. at
he's
this
not
point.
likely.
Okay.
Um,
I'm okay with that.
he was a great marksman, and he was also in the police force. But my dad, he received special treatment from the government, for him being in service, I guess. But when my grandfather died, and when this is so much. There's so much to the story, but
yeah. So just sort of synopsize,
so basically, that was his job.
summarize. I guess.
And this was before the Vietnam War and after the French Revolutionary War, whatever. So this is right before Americans started coming in for the fight against democracy and communism. And he died doing his job, which is marking off the territories for the land. The body was never found. His troops were all gone. The even the vehicle was like gone. They don't know what happened to his body. My dad has been not anymore, but he was obsessed with finding the body, to like, kind of like put it at rest, type of thing. And it was him because like he died
Wow.
when my dad was 5. So when that happened, my dad lost all his governmental like privileges because of the South won. No, the North. Is it the North? North is the communist, right? South is the. It's whatever side that won, which is communism, but like
Yeah, I think it's the North.
It's
I
the
think
North.
the North is. Yeah.
It's
Because
the North.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
So once the North took over, he lost all those privileges. And when my dad grew up, basically, he was applying. He was already he became a very known man in Vietnam, for his taekwondo skills. And he started working at this gym, this is when the communists already taken over and like everything is communist basically. And he worked at this gym. He worked his way up until like basically co-owner of this gym. The owner is like a communist, obviously. But when my dad, I think, was trying to apply for like a higher position than the position he's in already, they wouldn't accept it. They asked they asked what your family did basically, and he was like, my dad did my grandfather did this and this during this time, and they rejected him for his advancement because
Oof.
they said that you don't know this. But like my dad's like, no, they said like, oh, your father worked with the Americans or whatever. Because that's what they did that's what they said was
That's
that
what they said.
that's what they said that's what they were going to do. But in reality, what they were doing was possibly marking off the territories for the guerrilla warfare.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Not mosquitoes.
no. That's why.
So if that's true, that's really cool.
Yeah, which I don't know, but like my family still got benefits like somehow. Like my dad just lost the governmental beneficials, but like they still got things for my grandfather, even though like it didn't make sense. Like
Doesn't make sense.
yeah, like they're still
But if they were getting it from America,
I don't
that
know.
would make sense.
Yeah.
Even though the government
Exactly.
has dissolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like no, yeah, like my dad was like, my dad is he has a lot of history in his life. But yeah,
That's cool.
And my grandfather was like a great marksman. Apparently, is what I've been told.
Harley Davidson riding Vietnamese marksman.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
And the other reason why they killed him was because he looked sort of American, because of working in the sun so much. One, he's tall. He was like 6'2", like
Wow, that's tall.
So that's where I get my height from. But apparently his hair was bleached blonde because of how long he worked in the sun. So they thought he was American. That's why they think they all died, but because they thought he was basically an American, not a Vietnamese person working for the CIA, but an actual CIA person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's convoluted and awesome.
Yeah, I know. My family has a lot of. They also have some like summer stories where I'm like, whoa, but we'll share them another time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we got time.
Yeah.
We'll get to them.
Yeah.
So now this story about Dalai Lama is just sort of boring because basically it's just saying that he was an agent and he got a bunch of money from the U.S. government. Yeah. Which is sort of lame when...
It's not lame. It's like talking to Mike.
No, I'm sorry. Compared to your
my grandfather's story.
Writing marksman.
Yeah.
CIA
agent. Yeah. Well, that's like...
Dalai Lama get more interesting.
Yeah.
John Lennon
my God.
was
he
under
was
government
woke,
surveillance.
y'all. He was woke.
John Lennon is woke,
Yeah.
woke God.
Yeah.
So the FBI was spying on former Beatle John Lennon.
Mm-hmm. Dude, like his music though, like his music
Maybe
was
they were
great.
spying because they were like, "Nah, he can't be this good." Like,
yeah. No, but his songs had like a lot of meaning to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like Imagine and like
because so they considered him a threat of anti-war songs and like Give Peace a Chance. Those are songs. Didn't exactly So yeah, that's all it's saying here.
Well, I mean, I like there's some really interesting interviews that he's done that you guys should check out because he talks a lot about like just eye-opening things that you would never think about.
I would have had. I'm gonna have to. Look
you should
into that
definitely look up some of those.
That's very interesting.
Of course, because I used to follow a page called Anonymous, and they post a lot of like crazy stuff, like the government's spying on you, or like stuff like that. And then like one of those like John Lennon knew about the government and what they were doing, and that's why they were trying to keep him quiet or whatever, or something like that. I don't know.
He was portraying it to you through the
music. Yeah,
the magic of music.
Music of the night.
So this one's not very exciting either. It's just the government is spying.
We're looking at you, government. We know you're looking at us right now. Mm-hmm.
And this, like, we sort of already know.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows.
That's at this point, like, they can deny it all they want.
And you make it easier than ever by posting your entire life on social media. You're just like, government.
Here you go.
You want to know it's my birthday today? Well, if you did it before, which they definitely did, you do
because
now.
Of your social security number.
Yeah.
Which is also a way of basically knowing who you are and keeping track of
Well,
you.
I mean, and they have, like, posts set up. They listen to, like, random phone calls. They can't listen to every phone call because that would be incredibly resource intensive. But they do.
Do you think there's... Now, this is just a thought. Do you think there's actually a person for each person?
No. There's no.
It was just a thought.
It's not possible. Like, you would have to have
physically
another
impossible
country. This like another
India.
Is there an Indian for every American? Just like listening.
They have a higher population, or China.
Or China.
You know, they have those companies. That's why they're making so much money. Is paying they basically.
I think they make everything we use.
Basically, yeah. Also, they're paying the spies to look at us.
They probably made this, and they probably made this, and this, and this.
Hey, don't forget Vietnam. Vietnam makes a lot of shoes.
Process. Vietnam does make a lot of shoes. You're right. I noticed that.
Yeah.
But India, I saw.
I was about to say, yeah, you go back into the microphone because you sounded a little bit soft. Yeah.
I walked by a manhole that was made in India.
You want? Wait.
There's a manhole, like the big metal manhole, and it says "Made in India."
And you walked into it.
No, I walked next to it.
Oh! I was like, you walked
into
a manhole.
Into the manhole.
I was like, did you fall or like?
Okay, so this one's actually really interesting and super tragic, and I'm sure you all know about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole cigarette thing,
Mm-hmm.
where basically for a long time the research that cigarettes killed you, essentially,
Was withheld.
was totally put under wraps
Okay,
by, and that's
so
government, and that's also like the corporations that were creating it, and like
yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. So that's why I brought up the topic of. So we've talked about different. Okay, we talk a lot. So let's just.
You don't
So
even have to say that. I just assume.
yeah. So you know how the like the cure for cancer. Do you think that is withheld?
I don't know what they would gain,
Money.
but wouldn't you would gain money by selling it?
No, because it's a one-time thing. But people who have to do radiation testing, they have to consistently.
Oh, that sort of thing. All right.
That's what I was talking about last time. I don't know if I that point came
No,
across.
I had
but
no idea. That's what you're saying.
yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, sometimes like
So he's
yeah.
saying basically the government is withholding, or somebody is withholding the cure to cancer
yes,
in order to.
but
get,
I believe there is a cure for cancer, but just it's
I think
not.
there is a
It's
cure for
limited.
cancer.
It's limited information.
Yeah.
Like because again, there's a court case that I was mentioning to you about but he's a police officer and his daughter had just finished like the chemotherapy and it still didn't work or something like that. And then he like searched out because he's a father, he went through all the means to find. He did a bunch of research. He like probably went on like the dark web or something. I don't know. Like just he went that far to find someone.
He went somewhere.
He went to a place somewhere, but he found the information about curing the cancer, and he talks about like the different ingredients that you need to help cure it. But because of the radiation, she got radiation sickness, and her cancer was cured, but the radiation sickness killed her.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and he was trying. I think he tried to sue either the hospital or like something like that. But basically,
yeah, he sued someone.
I think, personally, I think there is a cure for cancer. I just think it's the information is being withheld because they make so much money off of cancer patients.
I would say it's possible, but if you think about it, like,
is it plausible?
Why wouldn't they just sell the cure for cancer
More
at
expensive?
more than the chemotherapy?
Because maybe the cure for cancer is simple and it doesn't need to be bought.
But you can just jack up the price and pretend it's more expensive. You know what I mean? You could be making.
But eventually,
potentially there's more money there for you. So
but yeah. Sorry,
economically, it doesn't really make sense to me.
But eventually, people will because once you give it to the people, they can find ways to EpiPens.
Yeah,
that's an example. EpiPens are extremely expensive. Someone made a cost-effective EpiPen, and they're selling them for like, I actually don't know the price, but I think it's like $50 or $40, which is like less than an actual EpiPen.
It's once the
people get a hand of it, it's like.
No, it's once the copyright runs out. So that's basically.
I guess so. Yeah,
how it works. Yeah. So you have the copyright, and.
But again, you can't gain as much money as you would if you continuously just let people know that radiation is the only way to kill cancer. We even talked about how like water cleansing could possibly kill cancer. Right?
Oh, I mean, and dietary, like based on your diet, there are ways to prevent cancer, and some ways that have been people have been cured of cancer. Now I think when people say like a cure to cancer, it's sort of got the stigma of like,
it gets rid of it.
Cures it. Like it's
no,
just like a
no.
and then like you're cured or like something like that.
Yeah.
But like, cancer's not a natural thing, and so their diet. Huh?
Nothing. I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Cool. Cancer's not like a natural thing. And within your body, like it's natural as in it exists.
Yeah.
But maybe it's man-made. Maybe the government is putting cancer in us, and
How
then.
dare you, government? Well, there's
I know
also
you're watching this video.
So one of our friends, you know this person, but she doesn't take vaccines. She's not like, we don't see her anymore, but she said she didn't like taking vaccines, not vaccines, but flu shots, because she thinks that the flu shots, the governments are basically making you weaker by giving you the flu shot, and that. Yeah, which I mean, I was like, wow, I didn't really think of it that way because like I don't personally get flu shots often, like consistently.
Honestly, I can't remember the last time I got a flu shot,
and haven't gotten the flu
like,
yet. So
yeah, I haven't either.
I wouldn't say that I won't. I haven't.
So, maybe it's part of the government making the viruses to like,
I'm telling you, man. They're natural selection. They're trying to do that Charles Darwin stuff where it's like if they can withstand this, they are basically alpha.
They deserve being.
They deserve to be here. But some places are like that. Like actual societies are like, if you can't
Yeah.
withstand this, then you need to die. And I'm just like,
Well, that's sort of like something that was necessary at some point in our life. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm not good at talking. I get distracted, and I
It's
sort
okay. It's okay.
of I wander as I go.
I was
and
getting
you get
distracted
a
as
little bit
well.
of
I
this,
was
yeah.
like,
Okay, so basically, like, it's as survival goes, like,
yeah,
but in the past when we didn't have the infrastructure that we do in the world,
yeah,
that's just how life went.
yeah,
Like, if you couldn't survive, you didn't survive.
yeah.
And, like,
Basically,
so I think that's where that comes from. Like, people basically, like, they're still in that mindset of, like,
Yeah.
survival, and, like,
yeah,
they haven't moved on to, like, the really modern way of thinking.
yeah,
And so they're, like, stuck in that. And that's
yeah,
the trouble with, like, dictatorships and corruption and that sort of thing when something is controlled by one person. Because if they have a certain mindset, then everyone's just like, you
yeah.
just have to do whatever they
Oh,
say.
I know why. Hold on. That might be better. That might be better
Is that
for
better,
you.
guys? Is this better?
It's because mine. You know how mine is the
Yeah.
parallel is tilted towards me.
I
It
see
wasn't
that.
tilted towards you, so that's why
Oh.
that might be better. I mean, no, you still like.
See, it wasn't even my fault the whole time.
Oh yeah, it's my fault, guys. I didn't set it up right.
It's not even my fault. I mean, technically, I did, like, play with it a lot and move it around, so
yeah,
it's still kind
yeah,
of my fault.
yeah, Chris. You just don't.
So what were we saying?
What was I saying?
Something about survival of the fittest.
Oh, like yeah,
Charles
like
Darwin.
people do that. So there used to be societies where it's like if you're the weakest of the herd, you die.
Are you the weakest?
In my link, I only have one person in this family, and my
Well,
mom would
technically-
technically be the weakest. I wouldn't say that she would die, but she technically is the weakest link in my family. I don't know. It would be between my mom and my sister, but I think my sister is a little bit more fit and
I
stronger.
say physically, like, okay.
Physically?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my mom's definitely the weakest.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I'm not saying that she's. I'm trying to
we just
kill
went out of
her.
focus and we were just
I
like,
know. It's like, I mean, I'm not trying to like say that she needs to die. It's because
I think that's kind of what you're saying.
this is why I'm. Oh, really, Chris? Who are you? Who's the weakest link in your family?
My little sister, the
Mhm.
smallest one.
Would you kill your little sister?
No, but if there was, like, an apocalypse,
She would.
she would probably. I mean, if we didn't work together as a family, she would be the first to die, probably.
Like if you didn't work together as a family.
Yeah, like if we were all just, like, put in apocalypse alone, she would probably die first. Like, that's just how it
Like
is.
separate, like all
Yeah.
y'all on your own. Okay.
Not that we're gonna, like, throw her to the wolves. Like, nah, she's weak. Doesn't, like.
How about this? I would
Accomplish
put in a stance of. Yeah, actually no. I would say my mom's the weakest link. I love my mom. She's great. She's a great person. She has a kind heart.
Good mom, not strong.
She's a great mom, but there's a reason why my dad's there and there's me to help protect her.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I have this like ulcer in my like top like.
Oh, let's talk about that.
When
did this start?
I think like literally yesterday. It really hurts.
Did you eat chocolate?
I didn't, but I did
I
eat
ate
chocolate like 3 days before.
Alien evidence in the American Southwest.
E.T.
E.T.
I still haven't seen that. I need to.
Gets signed by somebody on the belly.
Oh my God! Someone did.
E.T. is buried in the desert of New Mexico.
Is this talking about
this
the
one
Roswell
is real.
stuff?
Atari video game
Oh,
E.T. and extraterrestrial. The extraterrestrial failed so miserably that the company buried
What?
unsold cartridges in the desert landfill.
What? I thought E.T. was a movie.
No,
that
the
everyone...
game.
Oh.
The Atari game failed so miserably.
Oh.
They were just like, just bury them.
Yeah, who would want to play an E.T. game? I honestly wouldn't.
Well, I mean, if it was good, I'd play it. But clearly it wasn't because they buried all the copies.
Well, the thought of playing a game with an alien that like literally it's a passive alien. Like, would you?
Yeah, but it could be any kind of game.
I wouldn't
you know?
play that. I mean, if there was an alien
If
that was
it was
passive,
a good game, I would play it.
E.T. Oh, speaking of things being buried in the desert, Fortnite.
Oh yeah,
has expanded and actually brought like in-game stuff to the real world.
I've heard about this.
And
yeah.
that's just fun. I think that's fun.
interesting. I'm not a big fan of the game itself, but I like the
Yeah.
way they're running it.
Yeah,
It's
the
very
marketing
interesting.
is very
Yeah. Okay,
cool.
here's one I'm really.
Oh my god, I just read the title.
Canada tried to develop gaydar.
Oh my god.
Canada. I feel like.
Canada,
feel
out
like-
of all of them, why?
Well, I think it's the kind of person that's like the quiet one and the really nice one,
But they really
but they have like the secret dark
Is that your
side.
foot?
That's my foot.
Okay.
That's not my foot.
Oh my god.
So the Canadian government was so paranoid that about homosexuality that it developed a
Why would they
gaydar
be-
machine.
But why would they be paranoid? Did they successfully
They're coming
create
to get
one?
ya. I don't know. Probably not.
Okay, like
It really happened. In the 1960s, the government hired
1960s?
a university professor to
Oh my
develop
God.
a way to detect homosexuality in federal employees. He came up with a machine that measured pupil dilation in response to same-sex erotic imagery. The Canadian government used it to exclude or fire more than 400 men from civil service and military.
oh my god.
No one's talking about this.
Canada.
Oh,
What are you doing,
Canada. That's so funny.
What are you doing,
That's so stupid.
What are you talking about?
What are you
That's so
joking
bad.
about? Sorry. They're just like, sorry, guys.
Have you seen? Wait. You watched the episode? Not the episode. The Office, right? Have you seen the episode where Jim sends a gaydar for Dwight?
Yes.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Because he tested it on Dwight on Oscar. So for those who just heard the sigh, we just looked at the title for our next conspiracy theory that turned out to be real. And Chris is not very fond of this one, I would say.
I know.
Okay, I was like,
I know. It's like trying to babysit me. I know how to talk into a microphone. It's just because you had it spun around. I'm really good at this.
because I had to spun around.
Yeah. So the U.S. government is the Illuminati.
Wait. I thought it. Wait. Is that what it said? No, it said the Illuminati and the U.S. government. But is it saying it's combined?
Yeah, they're together. They play the same
probably.
game.
Probably. I mean, probably the people that run the government.
The secret society that rules the world, the Illuminati, and the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, are in cahoots.
I mean, honestly.
You heard it here first. No, last, folks.
Oh, have you heard of the Rothschild?
The
Rothschild theory?
Hold on, let me just read this.
Yeah, go ahead. This is
We're
the
here
truth.
to tell you that a link does in fact exist. Of course, that link is actually a hyperlink. Wow, jokes.
For days.
If you type Illuminati backward, which is something unpronounceable, into a web browser, you will land on the NSA website. Click the link if you dare.
Give me hold on. What is the spell Illuminati backwards? For me?
ITANIMULLI.
Oh, it's automatically NSA. Okay, that's true. It just popped up the NSA security agency as the first one. Should I click on it?
Yeah, but that's like a Easter egg of real life. Like
It
that's
could be.
not. That's not.
There's a
anything.
website for it though.
I'm sure there is. There's a website for everything.
That's great. There's a jump scare. I'm gonna. Whoa! Hold up. Wait a minute. You saw that, right? It's the website, and you see the website.
Yeah.
Is it just a website that points you towards the
Yeah,
NSA?
it just automatically
Chuck,
links
this
you
is
to the NSA website.
Trolls,
That's-
man.
yeah, okay.
Trolls.
So yeah. So the moral of the story is, they're all wrong, pretty much.
So the Rothschild theory. This is something I've read a long time ago, but I remember.
We will have to get into that.
Oh,
next time.
Maybe, yeah, we have a part 2.
Well, if we can, or maybe just like a little snippet. We'll see.
It's about world domination.
Domination.
A takeover
Domination.
financially, money wise.
Sounds fun. I would like to take over financially, please.
What? Oh no, Chris! I'm not giving you.
All
I
right.
have literally $1 in my wallet.
I'll take it. Yeah, so this has been the Chroncast. Thank you for watching. If you have any ideas, we would love to have ideas because we don't really have ideas ourselves.
And please subscribe if you enjoy what we put out.
If you would like,
Also,
if we put out what we put out.
what we put out, and if please give us a
You're
like.
going with that?
Yeah,
You're going.
I'm going with that.
Okay, cool. We're going with that.
But yeah, just subscribe if you want. You don't have to. Like it if you want. Give us some feedback. It really helps.
Yeah, feedback. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me.
Like
me to speak into the
actually
microphone.
comment. Like, we know you guys because this is a really.
Or we don't know you.
That's true. Maybe not. Maybe we don't know you.
Well, yeah. So anyway.
Bye.